Welcome to Studio C, the listening room. I'm Michael Snyder-Barker.
Hey, and I'm Andy Schiller.
We have our special guest today. Who are you, Tony?
I'm Tony Emery.
Tony Emery.
Ladies and gentlemen, Tony Emery, episode 45.
You know, we were just reminiscing before the show. I'm pretty sure we met when you were an elementary age kid that went to school with my kid 150,000 years ago.
Something like that.
Back in the day.
Yeah, and I have zero memory of you.
I must have been well behaved then.
That's good news.
Yeah, but you remember my kid, and so
Yeah.
And I do too.
That's good.
No, it's true.
But
It's true. So, thanks for joining us.
No, thanks for having me.
For another fun-filled 45th episode. That's a lot of F's.
Wow.
Fun-filled 45th.
We're slowly going to interview every musician in Michigan, one person at a time.
One, maybe even two at a time, depending on how we feel.
Might go a little faster that way.
Well, do we really want it to?
The journey is the destination, right?
That's it.
That's right. And it's been a lot of fun over this past nearly year. We're even planning a fun anniversary celebration.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah,
Yeah.
for episode 52. It's going on a year now.
Yeah, that we're only 7 episodes away from 52. Just 7. So, how did your journey begin?
Oh, let's see. Well, I started playing guitar when I was about 14. Because I thought it would make me cool.
That seems like a good age to start, you know?
Yeah.
Has it worked?
I don't think so. If I am cool, I think it's not because of being a guitar player.
Oh, right.
But
Of
that
course.
was what got me into it, and next thing you know, I didn't care about being cool anymore, and I just fell in love with it, and I couldn't put it down.
Yeah. Now, we have played together before. We did a little open mic at the Hollerfest,
Yep, I remember that.
and we practiced a few times with Lisa
Eddie.
Eddy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was fun.
Yeah, that was a good time. That was, man, I don't
It was
remember what year that
It was
was.
pre-COVID.
Yeah,
You
it was one
guys
of those
play
years.
with Ross on drums? Ross Strayer?
No, Michael
No.
was playing drums, I
Yeah.
believe.
Cajon.
Cajon, yeah.
They were married at one time, Lisa and Ross.
Yeah, I remember playing with Ross back when I was, teenager,
Oh.
early 20s. He would play drums and guitar sometimes. I learned a lot of stuff from Ross, actually.
He was great. Wow.
Yeah, he was a great teacher, too, and he loved all that, that spot where country and jazz overlap, which is kind of like my sweet spot as well.
Right.
I picked that up from him.
Yeah, and over the years, since you were 14, I know that you played with Lisa, and you played with Bryce recently, but where else has your journey taken you?
Well, I started playing guitar when I was like 14, like I said. I also had been playing trumpet in the band in school.
Oh,
Started playing trumpet in like 5th grade or whatever,
Okay.
but wasn't, super into that. That was just something to do, and I liked music.
But you learned how to read music.
Yeah, I learned how to read, and then when I was in high school, I switched to playing French horn because playing trumpet wasn't hard enough, apparently, and we didn't have any horn players. And that was about the time I really fell in love with music. I was like 16, 17.
yeah.
And I wound up going to school for French horn playing for 2 years in Grand Rapids. I didn't complete my degree, but I got the stuff that I really wanted out of it. I didn't really care about being a horn player. I just wanted to learn every single thing I could learn about music,
Yeah.
specifically music
Yeah.
theory and composition and arrangement and all of that
It's
stuff.
hard to teach yourself that in your bedroom. Well, I guess now we have YouTube, but back in the day,
Yeah,
you
when
go
I
to
was
music
a
school.
teenager, that was what I wanted to do. And I've been playing in the jazz band in high school. Brad Sharp was a
Sure.
excellent teacher as well.
Yeah.
He would let me do, he let me play trumpet or guitar or piano or
Oh, nice.
marimba or whatever I wanted. And
Oh, nice.
because I think he could tell that I wanted it, so he
Right.
would let me kind of explore. I learned a lot of stuff from him, but there was just some things that I couldn't figure out on my own or from him, which is why I decided I wanted to go to music school and
Right.
wake up at 8 o'clock in the morning and go take sight singing lessons with Sister Catherine, and then go take a nap, and then come back and do music theory and part writing and all of that stuff. And about the time that I dropped out, I also started playing banjo in like a folk rock band in Grand Rapids. So that was the time of the folk rock band in Grand Rapids.
Right.
So we played around a lot. We played at Founders a bunch of times, music festivals. That was my first like real band experience.
And you were the banjo player.
Yeah, I was kind of the like jack of all trades. I mostly played banjo, played harmonica. There was a couple songs I played trumpet on just because I still had my trumpet. And
Well, yeah, why not?
sometimes we would switch it up and I'd play bass and the bass player would play guitar or, whatever, kind of like that. I always tell people we sounded like the band, but not nearly as good, and if we had a banjo instead of a keyboard player.
Well, up on Cripple Creek. It's a good place to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So did that for a while, and then I wound up moving back home like 2015, 2016, something like that.
And back home was Adrian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Lenawee County. Moved back over here, and I kind of took a break from playing music in bands. I mean, I still played guitar.
Yeah, of course.
But took a break from playing in bands, and then finally kind of got back into it, playing in cover bands, playing bass, singing, doing solo stuff. And then when I moved to Manchester in 2022, my wife and I bought a house there. I went down to the open mic at the Village Tap, and I had been resistant to going to open mics because I always played in open mics when I was in high school, and I was like, I don't really want to do that, But my neighbor finally talked me into going down there. I met a bunch of awesome people. The quality of the music there is above and beyond any other open mic I've ever been to. I met a bunch of people there, started playing in different bands, and now this summer I think I played 3 shows a week from May to September, basically.
Man. That is with different bands.
Different bands, yeah, and solo stuff. And
yeah, now, over the summer, which bands were you in?
So I was doing a bunch of solo shows
to
fill in the gaps. I was doing duo shows with Kristen Udis from John Lewis Good. We've started doing a duo harmony folky kind of thing. I was playing with John Lewis Good. That was the meat and potatoes of my schedule.
You were a Rose City troubadour.
I was.
Yeah.
Yep. I was playing electric guitar and doing some singing because everybody has to sing,
Yeah.
I started playing with a country band from Saline Milan area called Rust Belt Revival.
Okay.
We do classic country, 80s, 90s country, a couple of modern tunes, and a little bit of classic rock stuff. We just got going this year. I'm playing lead guitar.
Okay.
We got a fiddle player and a keyboard player and the whole ordeal,
Man.
Doing like Dwight Yoakam songs and Brooks and Dunn, which is, I love playing guitar on that kind of stuff.
And you're singing too.
Yeah, I'm singing a couple.
Yeah.
Yep. And singing the high harmony parts on a few. And there was another band in there. Oh, I play in the backing band for like a national touring artist named Mark Blomsteel. He's a modern country singer.
Okay.
I play rhythm guitar in his band. I went to Pittsburgh with them for 3 nights near the beginning of the year. Played some festivals up north.
What was that name again?
Mark Blomsteel.
Remember that name, Mark Blomsteel.
And Connor Reed. You know Connor Reed.
Never met him.
Do you know who he is, though?
No.
Oh, okay.
He's a country guy?
He's just a musician, music teacher guy. He went to Adrian College, but
local.
he teaches over in Grass Lake.
I see.
I met him at the Tap, and he got me the gig in there. He was the drummer in that band.
Oh, okay.
He's fantastic.
Yeah, I've never met him.
He can play anything, too. He's mostly, primarily a drummer, but he plays bass, guitar, keyboards, sings, and he's...
all around.
Yeah, I don't remember a better musician I've ever met and played with. He just can do it all,
And you do tend to lean towards country in your style.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm most comfortable, as a sideman at least. I'm a country singer, like chicken picking kind of stuff. I mean, I got a Telecaster with a B-bender, so I can tell you what kind of thing I mostly do,
Yeah. You brought a Telecaster or a Stratocaster.
I brought my Strat today that I'm going to show off.
They are different.
You got a Floyd Rose on that thing, it looked like?
No, maybe now's a good time now that we mention it. So we'll just skip ahead to the instrument show-off segment of today's podcast.
My favorite.
And last week, I showed off my 1989 Strat Plus that was black, and now I'd like to show off my other 1989 Strat Plus that's black.
Oh, so they're
Because
different.
they're just ever so slightly different. They both have the rolling nut and the locking tuners, and it's basically the same guitar that I had last week on the show, except for this is a maple fretboard and the other one was mahogany or whatever. So other than that, it's the same guitar. And then remember last week I had the 2 Barden pickups. This one has the 3 Barden pickups, but they're hot rails, so it's a humbucker in the space of a single coil, and you got your coil tap switch and some other cool little pop out.
Why does that pop out like that? What's the purpose?
It's like it's just yet another tone. It's
Okay.
like a mid cut or something. I don't tend to use it that often, but it's there. Can always even use it like a booster too, so you can play the rhythm. Hit the solo. So, you know, it's got all these options. You could go single coil, humbucker. It's just a little louder. But speaking of the bridge, it had kind of an old rusty bridge that was on it. And when I got the guitar, I tried to adjust the bridge, and of course it was so rusty that the first thing that happened was just
Broke.
a cloud of rusty dust came out, and I heard a and it just breaks, you know, so
Yeah.
it rusts together.
It
So
sounds great.
so I got this aftermarket Vega Trem, and it has a whammy bar. Darn, I left a whammy bar in the case. But the whammy
There you
bar
go.
works great, just like a Floyd Rose, and it stays in tune.
You got the locking tuners and everything too.
So if you can do it like that, why use a whammy bar? That sounds
Yeah,
great.
why use the whammy bar, right? So the thing about this Vega Trem, I highly recommend the Vega Trem. Hey, if you want to endorse the show, Vega Trem, do it. Except they're in England, so you have to ship the bridge over the over the pond. But it fits, like I got the one that fits a Strat, so I didn't have to drill holes or anything.
Nice.
It just, the posts
Nice.
go right in the existing holes.
It's
All
like
right, you
that
wanna
thing.
give it a
Seen a
shot?
couple bar rooms with that fretboard looking like that.
So-
I got a picture.
The guy that owned it before me had a ring or something,
Oh yeah.
and so the edge of the guitar got all messed up. But you know, I kind of like it like that. Just reminds me of the worn kind of Stevie Ray Vaughan guitars you see that are all beat up. I just have it plugged into the board. It's not even through an amp.
Sounds pretty good like that. And that J.J. Kale kind of.
It has a little bit of a twanginess to it.
Man, you guys know what to do with a guitar. That's impressive.
And with the black color, you can't see the scratches, so that's kind of nice.
That
It's
helps, yeah.
perfect. It's perfect.
And then, you know, I never cut the extra strings that are on the end. I just twirl them around, and then I say my guitar has long hair. It has messy hair.
There you go.
And that's my Strat Plus, my other Strat Plus. So I have twin guitars.
Nice.
Yeah, talking about that Vega Trem, I've been toying with the idea for a couple of years now. They make one that fits a telly with no mods, where it's like the springs go through the string through holes, and it's like hinged at the plate. And I've been like wanting to buy one for years. They're
You know
a couple
what?
$100. I
recommend the Vega Trem highly because you know what? They sent me 3 sets of springs, heavy, medium, and light.
Oh,
and I
nice.
have 3 sets of springs. And they sent me all kind of adapters in case I needed to modify the guitar to make the bridge fit. And so it came with all these accessories. It wasn't just the bridge. It was, we're going to make sure that this is going to fit for you. And you have all the little screws and everything you need to make this work.
Appreciate to see that.
Yeah, I ended up with extra screws and extra posts and extra springs, which I just keep. But they were pretty thorough.
Nice. What'd you bring with you?
I've got my Martin 0015 SM.
Ooh, and it doesn't have a scratch on it.
Well, it's a satin finish, so you can't see them. It's a fancy way of saying it's a all mahogany mid-sized body with 12 fret joint. So there's only 12 frets clear of the body. Which, playing an acoustic
You only
guitar.
need the first 3 anyways.
The money is down here, not up here. But it's got a nice deep sound because it's all mahogany. And the 12 fret joint, the bridge is moved more in the middle. It's not a great strummer, but I got this because, 1, because I always wanted a Martin, and 2, because it sounds great for like Travis picking, finger picking, country blues kind of stuff, which is really my first love. I've always thought of myself more as like a Travis picker and folk singer than anything. So it's got a nice deep sound, it's clear, and
What kind of pickup is that?
that's a Mojo Tone Quiet Coil NC2. So it's a magnetic pickup, and it also has an Omni condenser microphone inside the sound hole. So there's a little wheel in here. If you turn it up, it blends in the microphone, and you can blend it all the way out. So if you're on a big stage and it's loud, you don't get all the feedback. You just got a magnetic pickup.
Yeah.
I've been pretty happy with it for small venues, but I play this with Mark Blomsteel, just strumming, and we play on some pretty big stages, and I almost never turn that microphone on because I always got to tell the sound guy, like, cut all the bass out right now, and then we'll work with it later, because it is such a bassy guitar.
Yeah.
But it's got a really nice kind of barky, mid-rangey bite if you dig in. So if I'm doing a bluesy thing like... It also gets nice and sweet for finger picking kind of stuff, like you can always do like a...
Wow. It's hard to imagine it sounding any better
Yeah.
than it already does.
Told Michael earlier, Martin doesn't make bad guitars.
They do not.
That is interesting, though, with the tuners are kind of the classical guitar style with the barrel tuners.
Yeah, all their 12 fret models, they do the slotted headstock with the backwards facing tuners, and I had a cheap Recording King parlor guitar that was a 12 fret with a slotted headstock years ago, and I told myself when I got rid of that thing I was never going to buy another steel string with a slotted headstock, but this one just looked so right I couldn't pass it up.
All right.
It's worth the extra trouble restringing it. And they say you get better sustain this way because there's a higher break angle. I don't know if that's true,
Well,
but
Whatever they say, it sounds amazing.
thank you.
Sounds great.
No matter what those people say about it. But I just brought my 12-string Taylor today, just because I was playing with it this morning. And I bought this from Stuart Benbow because it needed a new home, and I thought I could give it a good one. I'm pulling out my pick with one hand while I'm chit-chatting with the other and picking this up. And
We all have our pick holders on our car key rings.
yeah.
I'll have to show you mine when Michael's done. I got a special one.
I did tune it this morning.
11 of the strings are in tune.
Yeah, it was tuned.
Darn that 12th string.
Well, 12-string players, like a banjo player, they spend half their time tuning, the other half playing out of tune, right?
Ah,
There
There
we
you
it is.
go.
And it recently had some work done. It had a whole brand new neck put on it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because it had a malfunction in the back of it. So it's virtually a new guitar, and the action is just amazing on this. I'll let you
Oh, yeah.
you know
Thanks.
make it sound good.
Last time I was up at Elderly's, there was a sweet 12 string, and I played it, but there was a little sign hanging off the headstock. It said, "Do not tune this guitar to standard tuning. You can only tune it a half step low. If you tune it to standard tuning, you break the warranty."
Was it a new one?
That's what it's supposed to sound like.
I had a Guild 12-string for a little while. It was an old one. I thought that was jumbo sized, and I tuned it down like a whole step, and I would do that kind of stuff with it, and I wound up selling it when I bought the Martin, and I kind of wish I still had it.
Yeah. Well, this is tuned to standard.
Sounds great.
That sounds great, yeah.
Yeah, and it's
So,
what is it? It's a Taylor 354 CE, whatever that means.
Super comfortable neck, too. I mean,
cutaway
you know,
electric, yeah.
Yeah.
a lot of 12 strings, you're kind of fighting with them. Some people like, some people don't, but
But it's when who did this? David Ann Arbor Guitars. David
Collins?
Collins. Yeah. And he's the one that did the repair and the fix, and I asked him, how low can the strings go?
Mm-hmm.
And he did a great job with the action. I mean, it's barely above the fretboard, and it sounds beautiful.
Then you
Not
still
a-
got plenty of volume out of it, too.
Yeah. There's. I mean, you're a light player. I'm a heavy player. I can't play light yet. There was a big yet there.
So John Butler, shout out to John Butler, the famous 12-string player. If you haven't seen his video of The Ocean, you should watch it. But
Led Zeppelin's The Ocean.
his song called The Ocean.
Oh.
And he plays a 12-string guitar. But he doesn't like how on the G string there's a low G and high G. And he says that high G just sounds wrong. So he took that string off. And so he plays an 11 string.
11 string.
Why he didn't just put a second low G in place of the high G, I'll never know. But anyway, there's like this space on his fretboard, and I would stumble if there was a different space.
Yeah, that would
between
take
the
some getting
strings.
used to. Kind of like an inverse Big Joe Williams kind of deal.
Yeah, so anyway, 11
Joe
string.
Williams.
Big Joe Williams?
What does he do?
He was a country blues musician. There's some videos of him from the 60s, which was kind of more towards the end of his career, but he was famous as the king of the 9-string guitar. He had a couple different guitars, but like a big old Stella and a big old arch top, and he put all kinds of wacky pickups on them, like early days of acoustic guitar pickups.
Yeah.
But it was a 6-string that he drilled 3 holes in the headstock to make it into a 9-string. So the G, B, and E strings were all doubled, and then the bass strings were single, and it was just to make it louder. And presumably he couldn't afford a 12-string when he started out and wanted one, so he's like, well, I got to drill in a couple extra tuners, and I'll just put them on there.
Well, that's fun.
Yeah.
I think I heard about him from somebody. But, 9-string guitar. So it's basically the same, just without the double on double up here.
On the bottom, yeah.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, a lot of people that do fingerstyle especially sometimes will take the doubled strings off their bottom 3 so they get a clearer bass. Kind of, I don't know if that came first or Big Joe Williams came first, I couldn't tell you, but
Yeah.
Back in the day, in like the Renaissance, and they had the lute, all the plucked instruments had double strings. It just made it twice as loud.
That's you don't got to pick up in an amp.
And the idea of single strings didn't come around till a lot later.
Yeah, I feel more educated. Now, why don't you play for us one of your originals
Yeah, I could do that.
when you're ready?
Before I do that, I wanted to show you my pick holder. So I got this little bonbon case.
Oh,
It's
it is a
I
cat.
did a portrait of Queen Elizabeth, but as a cat. I keep all my picks in my slide and my little capos and stuff
That's
in here.
awesome.
Yeah, let's see here. So I don't have a lot of original songs. I used to try to write back when I was younger a lot, and then I realized I didn't really have much to say. So I kind of stuck to arranging other stuff and playing as a sideman and whatnot. But I got one that I haven't done in a while. I can break it out. And I don't necessarily want to say that I wrote this. It's more like I kind of put it together.
It came to you.
Yeah, and it's a lot of lines that are from folk songs or stuff that, from the oral tradition that I kind of pasted together and put my own spin on it. So
There you go.
this one's called Blue Skies. Peaches in the summertime, apples in the fall, but the sweetest taste of wandering is what I love best of all. Sooner we'll be moving on. Mother, don't you weep for me, sister, don't you cry. Well, I was born to ramble until the day I die. Sooner we'll be moving on. Goodbye, blue skies, fare thee well, my own true love. Won't be long before I'm gone. The road comes up to meet me, I gotta follow where it goes. When I pass this way again, there ain't no way to know. Sooner we'll be moving on. Goodbye, blue skies, fare thee well, my own true love. Won't be long before I'm gone. Goodbye, blue skies, fare thee well, my own true love. Won't be long before I'm gone.
Wow, that sounds great.
Thank you.
That was very
That
nice.
guitar is nice and loud. It really projects.
Yeah, especially in a room like this, and you gotta pick kind of hard to get it to respond to you, but
Yeah.
And that song had a lot of lines that I've heard from other songs, like rambling on.
yeah, and that's why I say I kind of put it together more than wrote it, but
But the idea, you had the idea to construct,
yeah.
and then you just borrowed words from other folks' stuff.
Yeah, and that's,
And
I
it's
mean, a
perfect.
long-standing tradition,
Yeah.
I always been a big fan of traditional music, mostly traditional American music of all kinds of
Yeah.
varieties. And,
So what do you have coming up musically down the road?
well, I'm pretty slow for the rest of this year and through the winter. I mean, this is a slow season, of course.
Yeah.
I think the next thing after this comes out, I'll be playing at the diner in Manchester the 2 Sundays following this. They have a little diner there in town, and there's a guy, Nathan Sweet, that
Yeah.
plays over there on the weekends from 11 to 1:30. He's not going to be able to make it those next 2, so I'm going to be sitting in for him.
Nice.
11 to 1:30. It's a small little place, but there's no electricity involved, so it'll just be me and my guitar sitting over there in the corner, and if you got any requests, come see if I know them, and won't scare anybody away if I mess them up because it won't be real loud.
Well, there you go.
And then on New Year's Eve, I got a show with Rust Belt Revival over in Milan. I believe we're playing some kind of motorcycle club party on New Year's Eve, so that should be a wild time.
Right. So wear your leathers and...
Oh yeah, I'll wear the suede fringe vest and everything. That should be fun. I probably won't get home till like 6 in the morning, but New Year's Eve, you know.
You know, when you're young like you are, you can do those sorts of things.
People have been saying that to me for a while now, and it feels less and less true every time.
Well, as you get older.
Yeah.
I know. So tell us about Rust Belt Revival.
Yeah, it's a country band I've been playing with. We just started it this year. You might know Brendan Moss.
The name's familiar.
He's a country singer, guitar player. He grew up in Saline. He lives, I think, downriver now. But I met him at the Tap, and he was singing a bunch of like Hank Williams songs and country stuff that I grew up with and loved. And he asked me if I wanted to come and play with him at a couple of solo shows, so I brought my telly and sat in with him, and we just kind of gelled. And he's got some friends around Saline that were wanting to start a country band, so they got some stuff together. And then he texted me all like gingerly, was like, "Hey Tony, would you be interested in like playing this list of songs?" And he sent me a list, and it's like all stuff that I'd love. And I was like, "Yeah, like I'll be there tomorrow if you want me to. Like, let's do it." So
twist your arm.
Yeah, right. So we got a fiddle player, which is really cool. I mean, country band with a fiddle player that's what you want.
Yeah.
And we got a couple different singers in the group. The bass player sings, I sing. The drummer also sings some. And we've been playing mostly at the Milan American Legion. I believe the bass player's a member there. And at Club Canton over in Canton, which is like the, honky-tonk street cred place to play around here.
Right.
So we had a couple shows over there, and we're still working on refining some of the set. But, once you get a couple of 4-hour bar gigs under your belt, you're pretty solid usually.
Yeah.
Or you stop playing together.
Right.
But I'm doing all that chicken picking kind of stuff and like fake steel guitar leads because we don't have a steel guitar player. But it's stuff that I really enjoy playing.
And the thing is, if you're playing something that you love, it's not something that you're working at. You're just playing.
Yeah, exactly. Like they're paying me to, load my stuff in and out of the truck at the gig, not to play.
Well, and that's what they say, right?
Yeah.
So that's what I did last night. I played with Brett Maynard, and it was like a 3-hour country set. And a lot of what I did was just the slide. Because, I don't have a lap steel.
Yeah.
But I could play, it sounds like I'm playing all those famous parts, but...
Especially if you got a volume
strings.
pedal, that's like half the battle.
Just a slide, and you play 2 strings, and you know what? It sounds pretty convincing. But, a lot of... to change the subject back to fiddle, a lot of country songs have fiddle still. And, when I was a kid, I just wanted to play Motley Crue, and have long hair and play loud and play my electric guitar. And I took violin lessons. And my teacher, and I got to be like a teenager, and I was playing the Suzuki Method and Bach and Beethoven, and I kind of lost interest. I'm like, well, I kind of want to learn Ozzy songs, I don't want to learn Beethoven. And I kind of stopped practicing, and my teacher was like, "Are you going to quit your lessons?" And I was like, "Yeah, I kind of feel like it's not for me." And then my teacher was like, "Watch this." And she played the fastest fiddle song on her violin, and my jaw dropped, and I was like, "I didn't know you were cool." I thought you were lame. I thought you were just like, da, 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 da. And she shredded on this fiddle thing, and I was like, oh my gosh, I have to learn all of that.
Yeah.
And so I stayed in lessons for 3-4 more years, and I focused mostly on the fiddle. And I'm really glad I did that, because country has some really cool fiddle stuff, especially with the double stops.
Oh, yeah.
And some songs have even fiddle feature, fiddle solo. It's not a guitar solo.
Just because there's not a bunch of distortion doesn't mean they're not shredding. I mean, like,
Right. Although they could use distortion.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
it's always an option.
And you can slide, and so you're doing your bends like an electric guitar would.
Hmm.
And if you know some cool country licks on fiddle, it's really fun.
I've had this kind of like fantasy band scenario I've been mulling over in my brain for a couple of years. So Eastwood Guitars makes a double neck Telecaster with an electric mandolin on it, and it's only about that deep.
Yeah.
And I've got a hip shot B bender, and I'm like, man, if I get one of those, put that bender on that Telecaster, I can start a country band and play all the hot Telecaster licks, and then when the fiddle part comes up, I can just play it on the mandolin.
Yeah.
And then switch back and forth, and it's about $1,000 investment that I haven't been ready to make yet, but I've been thinking about it.
When I watched the band, yes, Steve Howe has. They'll bring out a guitar on a stand, so he'll be playing this guitar, then he'll reach over and play the other one. Maybe you can build something.
Might
for
be able
a
to do
mandolin.
something like that. I have done that with my lap steel a few times.
Yeah.
I got an old lap steel that put some like 1/2-inch pipe for legs on the bottom, throw my pedal board under it, play guitar, go up and slide a little bit. You got to put the finger picks on for that though, so that's a little bit harder.
But I bet you it'd be a lot cheaper to build this thing than
Probably.
it would to get that guitar.
Yeah, I've thought about getting like a electric mandolin kit and just gluing that onto half of one of my old Telecasters, but a lot to think about.
So the only downfall, though, of playing the fiddle is when the guitar player says, yeah, it's a capo 4, so we're in A flat, everybody, go. All right, well, if you got a fiddle, A flat is the worst.
I hear F's. I hear F's on fiddle are great.
F's? I don't know.
No,
F's.
sarcasm. I've heard
No.
that they're terrible. I used to play with a woman named Fiddle and Dixie, and she's out of Blissfield, and she would always say that make sure it's not an F.
Right. Yep, I mean, I would just tune the strings down a half step, but yeah, for the fiddle, A, D, and G, those are all great.
I mean, that's why all those country songs are in A, D, and G.
Yeah. Other keys, maybe not so much.
So nothing, not an E?
E is, I guess, okay, but
At least you got one open string.
yeah.
Not ideal though.
On a fiddle?
Yeah.
There's the E string.
The high
yeah.
string is the E.
I know nothing about 4-string instruments.
I play a little bit of mandolin, which is tuned the same as a fiddle.
Yeah.
But I have a fiddle and I can play 2 tunes on it. I can play Jolie Blanc and I can play the Boys of Blue Hill hornpipe, but that is the extent of my fiddling ability.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for the bow,
The
that's-
bow is its own thing, yeah.
Yeah. You didn't try a Jimmy Page thing where you take your bow to your guitar?
I mean, I have done that before, not in front of people, because this was never worth listening to, but
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, shall we move on to the next segment of our podcast today? So how about this week's trivia question? Drum roll, please. Okay. So, but last week's trivia question was, what's the shortest #1 hit song at 1 minute and 37 seconds? And the answer is Stay by Morris Williams and the Zodiacs. And it's from 1960.
And Jackson Browne did a great version of that on one of his live albums.
And it was longer.
And it was longer.
I don't know it from the name. I'm sure I would recognize it.
You would hear it and recognize
won't you
it.
stay
Okay.
just a little bit longer?
Yeah, yeah. Man, that's a short song.
A minute and 37
Yeah.
seconds.
Yeah.
Okay, so now it's this week's trivia question. And this week's trivia question is, what's the musical artist that had a song on the Billboard Top 100 7 decades in a row? I'm not talking about the same song. I'm talking about a separate song in each one of the 7
decades in a row.
Yep.
Wow, that's
Talk
like,
amongst yourself
that's
and
like 70
think about
years.
it. 70. Yeah,
Almost.
that's right.
Almost like 70 years.
And I'll give you a hint. They had a song on the Billboard Top 100 in the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, the 2000s, the 2010s. Is that 7?
That's 70.
7 decades in a row.
But not the
so-
2020s.
but not the 2020s.
So that narrows it down.
There's still time.
Right. Half a decade. But they've got to be kind of old by now, unless they've replaced all their players.
And it's not the same song just becoming a hit again. They were separate songs.
It's not the Bay City Rollers, is it?
I'm not going to say until next week, so stay tuned.
It can't be the Bay City Rollers. I think they had one album.
Okay, and now it's time for the next segment of our podcast, which is Andy's question that he always asks every guest of the show. And the question is, do you write the lyrics of the song, or do you write the chords of the song, or do you write them both at the same time?
I think generally I write the chords in the music first, but oftentimes it'll be a little bit of the third, because the words will start to, and I'm saying this being like very out of practice, not having written a song in a long time, but when I was writing more, it would be like I'd start fiddling around with something on the guitar, and I'd get a chord progression and a little melody in my head that I liked, and half the words would come to me before I finished it, like before I got to the bridge or whatever. Something would suggest itself to me.
So at the same time, pretty much.
More or less, yeah, but usually like it would only happen if I picked up my guitar and did something that I thought was worth making a song of.
Right. Now, do you write the lyrics first on an instrumental?
Always.
Always?
I mean, you can't play the tune if you don't know the words.
I know. That's basically true.
Sometimes the name will come before the tune, right?
Right,
Yeah.
like tuna fish. And then you write a song.
Yeah, and you got an idea in your head.
Right.
You got the chorus line or the hook or the
Tequila.
main idea of the song.
Right. So I'm going to start working on that song, Tuna Fish.
When I was in a band in high school, we used to do this thing where the guitar, the bass, the drums, we would just write the whole song. We would have the intro, verse, chorus, bridge, chorus, ending, and we'd play it top to bottom. We would even record it on a cassette tape. This song's done. Okay, get the singer in here. Listen to this song. Okay, now write words to that.
Now.
And so, like, the song would already be done, like the music part.
Yeah.
But I can imagine that kind of is just only one way to write a song.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's got to be a million different ways. That's a good way from the musician's perspective, though, especially if the singer doesn't play an instrument.
Yeah.
And they're trying to tell you, that's not right, that's right, whatever, do that again.
Right, but then think of this, if you ask me, well, what's this song about? Oh, well, it's just chords and notes.
Yeah, nothing yet.
It's not about anything. Okay, well, that's a little bit less inspiring than if you're writing a love song or, if you're writing a blues song. So if it's about something before you begin, then I can imagine that you come up with some more powerful music.
I wrote some songs with my friend Michael Rosich. He came up with the chords and the song structure before I, started playing guitar. And I would always ask him, so what are you feeling when you're creating this? What do you have in mind? What are you thinking? And that kind of helped inform me on how to structure some lyrics for the work that he was doing.
Yeah.
We've got about 5 or 6 songs together. One of them I brought the words first, but the rest of them were his creations that I had to figure out what to do with. And that was an interesting process.
Whenever I'm playing with somebody and we're playing a song that I don't know, or it's a new song, and they have like the chart or whatever for me, but I'm not familiar with it, I always say, what's my motivation?
Right. That's a good one. Your motivation is to play guitar.
That's what they always say, and I'm like, no, that's not what I meant.
I have worked with, there's been maybe 1 or 2 times when I was in a band with Danny. Shout out to my friend Danny Andy, as he's known in the producer world, but Danny Bradley. Andy is his middle name. But we had a band back in the 90s, and we would take a piece of poetry that said something or, was what we thought was pretty good. And then we'd say, okay, let's write a song, and this is the lyrics to the song. And so based on what it said, it'd either be angstful or it'd be hopeful or it would already have some kind of charged emotion. And so you'd write the music based on the mood. And so I've done that before, but that's a little bit harder. You have to be able to sing, and you have to come up with the melody. So
yeah, coming up with a good melody is one of those things. It's like, it's hard if you're not in the right mood, but sometimes it just comes right out,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for me, I've been a lyricist for 40 years, and it's been kind of fun to be able to maybe create a few songs just with the guitar first, with the music first, and then the lyrics. To me, that's a little harder.
Yeah. And I've never really thought of myself as a singer. I've always thought of myself as a guitar player.
Sure.
And so I got all kinds of ideas that come out on the guitar, and write a bunch of instrumental stuff, and then sometimes I'll put words to them. But that's the part that comes easy, it's the guitar part.
I was always a drummer who wrote lyrics and sang. And it was kind of fun, being a drummer who sings. People look at you like, wait, you're a drummer who sings? That's abnormal.
Yeah, you don't see it very often.
No. Phil Collins. But
Levon Helm.
Yep. The guy from Triumph. You guys remember Triumph?
A little bit.
Fight the Good Fight.
I don't think I ever knew him in the first place.
The 80s band. They were following Rush's tradition. Power trio from Canada. They were popular for maybe 5 years.
Longer than me.
Right. I saw them in concert. Good show.
So how about play another song for us?
Yeah.
We're just talking about instrumentals. You want me to do an instrumental for you?
That'd be great.
Let me make sure this thing's still in tune here.
And now we've reached the tuning part of today's podcast.
Where we have to make up words that we string together just to buy time. And
We should have a
ready.
sponsored by, for the tuning segment. Today's tuning segment sponsored by Snark.
You all at home can't see this, but it is cold and snowy and wet and gross outside, so the guitar is riding in the truck. Don't care for that, so.
Right.
It's a little ragtime kind of thing I wrote a while ago. I've been calling it Raisin River Blues.
It's a good
It's
one.
kind of a bluesy one.
Ladies and gentlemen, Tony Emery.
Something like that.
Yeah, very nice.
My Travis picking's a little rusty. I'm playing so much electric guitar lately.
Travis picking. What is Travis picking?
That's it's named after Merle Travis, even though he didn't really invent it. He was just kind of one of the first popular artists to do it. But basically, you wear a thumb pick, and you're playing your bass notes with the thumb down here, alternating, and then you pick the melody with your fingers. And you can play just about anything that way if you put it in the right key, you know.
Yeah.
You just got to find your bass notes and pick them with
Well,
your
I
fingers.
noticed your pinky never leaves the surface of the guitar.
Yeah, I always plant my pinky, even when I'm playing electric guitar, unless I'm doing big strums.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, it's hard to orient yourself. You know,
Yeah.
you can play up here if you want to be soft, but I still got to have. A lot of people say it's a bad habit if you're flat picking or whatever, but I find if you're Travis picking, it's helps you kind of stay grounded.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't want to move your hand around or take it away from the strings. Once you find your space, you want to stay there. That's what I call home position. And to everybody that says that's a bad habit, I say whatever. Because,
Does it work?
Yeah, you've got to keep your hands stable. And you know, a lot of players use their wrist or their palm or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But
Well, if I'm doing that kind of thing, I'm also almost always palm muting down here, because otherwise the bass notes ring out too loud from the pick. Like, you also get a lot more percussive nature out of that.
okay, and then all the picking's done with your index finger and your middle finger, and you're not really using your ring finger, right?
I'll occasionally use my ring finger if I want to grab a 3-note chord up there.
Right.
But usually it's index, middle finger. I never play with the pinky unless I'm doing some kind of effect or something.
Special,
But
yeah.
a lot of times I will use all three, like
To hit a chord.
like that kind
Like
of
a
thing.
3-note chord, yeah.
Yep. But mostly keeping it to 1 and 2, because those have a lot more practice and independence than the ring finger.
So, speaking of the pinky and being on the guitar, I end up just like, I just put my pinky on the volume knob, everybody, because I use it so much. I'll ride the volume throughout a song, and that's like a Van Halen trick to like, 10 is distortion, 5 is mild distortion. Doesn't actually make it that much softer, like volume-wise coming through the amp, but it's more like a distortion control.
Yeah, it's easy on a Strat too, because your finger's right there,
It's
right?
right there.
It's a little harder on a Telly.
Yeah. And then there's a thing I learned called Italian school. This is like a classical move, where instead of having your pinky on the guitar, a lot of songs don't play string 1 very often in certain songs. And so what I'll do is I'll just rest my ring finger on string 1, and then I'll play. Okay, here's the moment. So
Keeps it from ringing out when you don't want it to, also.
right, so you could, instead of resting on the guitar, you could just rest against string 1, and there's thousands of songs where, you know, you're not even going to hit string 1 except for every once in a while, and then hey, it's ready. So
Yeah,
there's
right
all
there.
sort of ways to do it.
Yeah, there's about as many different techniques as there are guitar players, probably. And I never took any lessons, so I just kind of made it up from watching videos and guitar magazines. And I've always had a pretty good ear, so listening to records and like, it sounds like they're playing a G shape there or a D shape or whatever, and I think this is what their fingers are doing.
Yeah.
You got to do what works for you, you know.
I have some things to work on.
Everybody does.
Thanks for the lesson.
So here's an interesting question. Do any of your songs have French horn
No.
or trumpet?
No, I still have not the trumpet from my high school days, but I have a cornet. I don't have a French horn any longer. but I do have an E flat alto horn, which is like a baritone, but the next size down. And every, 2 years, I'll get a wild hair and decide I want to play some brass again, and I'll practice them for a week, and my lips will fall off, and kind of decide I don't really care for it.
When your lips fall off, how does that hold your mustache up?
It's
left?
trouble. Yeah, I got to
Yeah.
shave it off, and then my
Oh.
wife gets mad at me, and
Yeah.
it's a whole thing.
It doesn't recognize you.
You'd be surprised, yeah. But no, I don't really. I mean, I love the sound of brass instruments. I love the idea of playing a brass instrument.
Yeah.
But I get paid money to play guitar, and I don't get paid money to play brass, and it's a lot of upkeep to keep your chops on a brass instrument.
Oh, I bet.
And just not there anymore.
Yeah, it's not really a solo instrument.
Yeah, and if I was like, I would love to take a cornet and play with a little like early jazz combo and just do some old jazz standards or something, but the amount of work it would take to get there would be something else. Like my brain would be going, 6 times as fast as my lips could keep up.
Right.
Yeah, I guess it's like calluses for your fingers. If you don't play, you lose it, and then it
Right.
takes you a while to get
That's
it back.
exactly what it is, yeah. And I mean, it's all in your lips. You got 3 valves. There's not much finger work to do. It's all in your lips. And they have a muscle memory that will go away.
Yep,
If you don't use it, you lose it.
Exactly.
right.
Yeah. So, we talked about gigs you got coming up. We talked about where it all began. We talked about how music is your heart and soul and your passion. What did we miss?
Did we talk about where people that are listening can find your recordings?
Well, that's an easy one because they can't. I don't really have any recordings out there. I do have a Bandcamp page. No, sorry, not a Bandcamp, a Reverb Nation, where I have put some videos, and there is one song of mine that I recorded with John Lewis Good that's on there. It's Lookout Mama, which is my hit. So they used to have me play that one with the band all the time. We recorded it in the bass player's garage on my Tascam 464 4-track cassette recorder.
Wow, 4-track cassette.
And there's a slapback echo on there, which was coming from my Sony reel-to-reel that we recorded live. I took one condenser microphone, an Omni, put it in the middle of the garage, and we all moved around and listened back and adjusted it. It's just one mic coming through, and did it kind of the old school Sun Studio rockabilly way, which
Bluegrass style.
Yeah.
yeah. And so there's a recording of that on there, and there's a couple recordings of John Lewis Good songs elsewhere that you can find that we did in that same session.
Yeah.
But if you just search Tony Emery on Reverb Nation, you can find that and a couple videos of me playing with various people on there.
Very nice. Very nice.
Cool. All right.
Is it that time?
I think it's time for the Studio C Blues.
Oh boy.
So we've been ending each show with a little just 12-bar blues slow jam
In E.
In C?
E.
in E.
Oh, the Studio E Blues.
Oh, I guess so. Oh, and I'm a half step down, but oh well.
Let me see.
I'm used to it.
Let me find out where.
At least it's not the fiddle.
Right.
Right.
Just keep your palm on that
Right, I'll just push on the
bridge
bridge.
there, yeah.
It's blues in F to me.
Who doesn't love blues in F?
Well, fiddle players.
Folsom City Blues by Johnny Cash is actually recorded in F. What do you know? Did he tune up a half step or did he use a capo, I guess?
I gotta
Never
think
know.
he used a capo, but I don't know.
I kind of feel like he showed up to the gig and he hit the string and it sounded like this. He's like, yep, that sounds good. Everybody tune up. Go. Because there
That could
wasn't
be,
like an
yeah.
electronic tuner, right? So,
Tuning fork?
tuning fork, yeah. We used to have pitch pipes when I was a kid. Pitch pipes.
I've got one of those little spinning chromatic pitch pipes. It's like the master's key or whatever you use for a cappella groups, but I keep it in my truck in case a song comes on the radio and I'm like, what key is that song in? I want to learn that. I'll just pull that out and find what key it's in.
That's fun.
It's a good little thing to have around. I don't really use it at a show or whatever because it's
But it's
pain,
nice to
but
have.
it is good to have, yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4. Place to be, hanging with all my friends. Gotta watch the show to the end. Special guests are why we're here. Share a laugh and feel a good cheer. New and old friends are the best. Like Tony Emery, our 45th guest. Studio C, listening room, with Tony Emery, 45th guest.
This has been episode 45. Thanks for listening.
Thank you.
Good night.